All right, I have an idea. I was working on, um, yeah. So I was putting together the my Discord server, just kind of setting up the kind of like workstation buds stage channel that I have set up, and that is going to be just for if I'm working through the day, um, people to anybody to join on that server and just kind of work, share ideas, whatever need be. And then I've got PlayStation, YouTube PlayStation, or not PlayStation, YouTube playlist of called my Workstation Buds list, and I just went through and searched for, I think, AI agents. And so I just got a bunch of videos that were at least 20 minutes and just kind of went through and selected the ones that looked interesting on face value. And I made this playlist. So I was doing my working, and then I was like, oh, it would be kind of nice to test Notebook, the Google LM, Notebook LM. And, oh, I just turned on something. Oh, my phone's got the G word hooked up to it, so the assistant. But okay, anyway, I wanted to pick a notebook, and I thought to myself, what if I take all of the videos in this playlist? It's not that many. I think I only, yeah, I'm almost done putting the list in there. And then put them into Notebook LM and then make some sort of like material based off that. So that'll give some material to kind of include with the server and people that are on there, just want some extra stuff to talk about, put together bullet points of it, summaries, sources, call it, whatever I wanted to call out on it and use Notebook LM. So I'm going to play with that right now and see how it goes. So let's go. I've already put up these vertical AI. Okay, and so I'm down to entering. I think this is an alphabetical order, so let's see if I think I did this one last. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this one. So I'm just copying the share link and then going to add sources in Notebook LM, YouTube, paste, and it adds that in there. So I just got these two. Copy, paste, and one more. So, and now actually this works out pretty well. So now what I can do is, now what I can do is package this notebook as the day's playlist, right? So today I went through, I was kind of interested in this morning about AI stuff, AI agents. So that was kind of my focus of interest. So I made a playlist for that. I can put that into Notebook LM, do whatever I want with it. Save that notebook though is like, I don't know, today's date or AI agent, whatever, and I've kind of got a module or a package to work with. I can always go back to that and do whatever I need to do. And I can make a like I don't I'm not a huge fan of this deep dive conversation. It's cool. I'm not sure how I haven't found a super I haven't found like a unique use case for it, like one that's like not obvious. So, and I'm not saying that makes it like a bad product, but I think it's a product, and I don't see that it gives me any real value. I guess as it is, that I couldn't get elsewhere, that I haven't already been getting. I mean, it's nice to have that conversation put through, but it's very similar to if I were having a I prefer the conversation with AI, like the if I'm talking rather than hear two AI talk to each other, because there are certainly points where, but I guess it's just like listening to another podcast. But if I suppose if I enjoyed the speakers, I guess I don't like the speakers, so I don't like the podcast. So if I enjoyed the speakers, perhaps like if I, you know, connected with them on that level, so maybe that's something that Notebook LM could do, like customize the speaker, the tone, and all that. Like you can customize here, and I've tried customizing it, and I don't. I've only done one test with it, so I could certainly do more. But from what I found, it didn't really do what I was expecting it to do. I may have been asking it the wrong questions or telling it to do the wrong things, but in any case, I just realized how dark it is here. I gotta get a lamp or something. Um, but yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do with that. I don't know. We'll go ahead and generate. Let's see. What do I want to customize this for? So, all right. So let's try to turn this into like a educational thing. So focus on the process, the steps involved with building an AI agent. Okay, I'm going to stop talking as I speak because that annoys me. I don't think this isn't going to give me that. I know that, um, but it would be cool if this did work. You know, this is interesting as far as copyright goes or whatever. I'm not. I mean, I think it to be able to like put together a podcast. You know, just take. I haven't watched any of these videos. A couple of them I have this morning as I've been playing, but for the most part, it's fair to say I haven't watched any of these videos. And right now, I've just taken all of this stuff and I could put together a whole. I don't know if I wanted to build a course on on AI. I can just quickly pull this information. So the power really, anybody can do it is the point. So that's not where like the power lies. Okay, like it's how are you curating? What are you doing with the information afterwards? Because I mean, you could just create a podcast and like spit it out. Like I could record this and then put it on YouTube and say it's my own podcast or Spotify, and people would be able to tell. I'd be able to tell. Oops, lights went out. Um, Whatever. That's fine. People, I'd be able to tell that it's AI generated, but there's a fair amount of people who wouldn't, and who wouldn't care either. If I'm ultimately, if I'm out there looking for information, and I reach a point of information before I reach a different point of information, that's fine. I mean, it doesn't matter where it comes from as long as it's accurate. It from my perspective, if I'm looking for information. So, little little tangent, but all right. So yeah, that's fine. Generate So that's going to take a little while to go, but I can go over here. What do we got? Okay. And so if we just go to the, oh, where is it? Oh, here we go. That's because my screen's so small right now. That's fine. Um, so this gives me the summary. So it's gone through all of it. And then these are like, this is cool because it drives those things. Like if I wanted to just, I don't know, interact, provide questions for interacting, like this is it. Like, all right, what's the potential market size? You know, how do vertical AI agents compare and differ? Like these are good primer questions to have somebody ask themselves and then, compare what they have for an answer to whatever it is. And then I can add my own questions along the way. So maybe if I wanted to get specific and I had asked for that kind of that procedural approach or the step-by-step process approach to on the podcast side, if I'm going to take that and try to put that into materials, whatever, I could do ask questions that are specific to whatever I wanted to ask them, I guess. Okay, so say I wanted to say, I don't know, how do I build an agent? And then I don't know. Actually, there's a lot of sources in there, and some of those are pretty long. Oop, this went through pretty quick. I know the podcasting takes a little bit takes a little bit of time, so I wasn't sure about this. All right, so this is cool. So it gives me the a, a bunch of stuff that doesn't necessarily have to do with the specific question, how do I build an AI agent? Because that's a broad question, and it does a good way of kind of bullying it out the point. So it doesn't give me that step by step approach. If I were to, if I wanted to put something together, I'd have to put in the work to like format it in the way that I'd want to format it. So I would like to see it as something as a SOP basically. That would be the best standard. So let's see if I can and prompt it to do it that way. Um, and you typically I don't like Gemini, but I haven't used it a lot to be fair, and this didn't do that. So maybe it did. Standing up. Okay. I take what I said back. This is actually very good. Oh, this is actually very, very good. Very acceptable. So I wouldn't have expected it to go into a level lower than this. So this is a good top level SOP, I think. I could I could look at this and follow it step by step. And if I wanted to, so I was thinking about this the other day with courses in general and programs and how I think there are a lot of courses online that charge a lot of money and are worth the money. I'm not saying that they're not, and clearly not all the courses are worth the money, but generally speaking, the if you're offering a way to do something, why not have that offering? And maybe this is a bad business decision, so maybe that's why it's not done. But maybe it is, and somebody hasn't really run with it yet. So, but what if you're offering up the product? Like in this case, all right, I want to build an AI agent. All right, so I can market out to or outsource out to somebody to do that for me. Or I can take a course and learn how to build an AI agent. But what if that course was, all right, well, we'll build the AI agent for you, but we'll walk you through it. Like the course will be you learning how to build your own AI agent. And so you're going to pay for whatever the course costs. And then whatever costs are associated with building your agent. So if that involves subscriptions to things and all of that stuff, I mean you're going to be paying that as part of your course cost, I guess. So yeah, so you pay the costs up front to whatever it's going to be to do that, and then as a business, presenting the course, you could offer those services and make money on that part of it. So and especially if you're offering it at a lower rate to your students that are taking in taking the course themselves. So you're going to get that, and then you're going to get the money for the teaching the course to whatever costs are involved with that, and then whatever profit you want to add on top of that. And then you could also be selling your services to people outside of the course and full price, whatever you want to do. And that's a little bit more inviting for the people to jump in and take your course. But anyway, so I go in there, I take the course, I've built out my agent, I'm off the ground running, and I've got this connection back to this place that got me started along the way. So, I think it's a interesting approach that could be useful. So yeah, that's that. We can ask questions. I can run through and do whatever. Let's see how the podcast came out. If the podcast came out. There it is. It's only 17 minutes. That's interesting. So, I've put in, this is compared to a lot of like personal notes that I've put in. So I've got another notebook that has a podcast in here that's like an hour long, and it's far more sources, but it's a lot more time too, I guess. Well, maybe not, because the AI videos, there's a couple that are like an hour long. So it's probably just the material that is repetitive, I would guess, which is another great thing to pull out of this stuff. It's like everything's out there for the most part. And there's just so much of it duplicated and redundant data that this type of stuff is nice to consolidate and curate. But anyway, but for all of those sources, that the amount of time that these sources take up, it's funny that 17 minutes, it boils down to 17 minutes. And, if you look at it visually this way, or at that SOP that was printed out, it's still, that looks pretty straightforward. So how are all these people out here spitting out all this information and again and again and again, and yet not a lot of people are getting the information on a broad scale? It's just interesting. So let's listen to this for a little bit.
Okay, so today we're going to be doing a deep dive on AI agents. You sent over a ton of material, keynotes, tutorials, even some predictions from venture capitalists, and everything seems to be pointing to this idea that AI agents are the next big thing.
Right.
But we need to kind of unpack this.
Yeah.
And figure out like how do we even build one of these things?
Well, the first thing to understand is that we may be going about it all wrong, the way most people are using AI right now.
Yeah.
It's kind of a one and done mindset. You ask a question,
right,
you get an answer, but it turns out that's not really the most effective way to work with these tools.
I mean, it's like trying to bake a cake by just throwing all the ingredients in a bowl at once.
Right.
Like you need a process, you need some steps.
You need a recipe.
Yeah.
You need a recipe, exactly. And this is where this idea of what's called an agentic workflow comes in.
Okay.
It's kind of like if you think about writing a research paper, you wouldn't just sit down and write the whole thing in one go.
Right.
You would plan, you would do your research, you would write, you would revise.
That's if you're a healthy individual. Yeah, I don't like those hosts at all. I don't know what it is about them. They sound cheery, they sound happy, they sound like nice people, but I don't connect. So that's something that is probably, if you could change the voices, that'd be cool. Wonder if I change the playback speed, if that helps. Probably not.
You would go through a process. And so the idea with an agentic workflow is that instead of just asking AI for the finished product right away, we break down that task into a series of steps and we guide the AI through those steps.
So it's more of a back and forth. It's more of a collaboration with the AI than just like barking orders.
Exactly. It's a much more collaborative approach. And this is really important because it allows us to tackle much more complex problems. For example, there are legal teams that are using AI agents to...
Okay, I do prefer doing it that way. Speeding it up, because I at that point I'm just processing information. Like I'm not listening for... This is why when I listen to podcasts, I started trying to listen to stuff at double speed, because I listen to a lot of long podcasts and YouTube videos. And so when I started doing that, I couldn't understand anything, and that was annoying. But when I got used to it, I can understand it, but I'm not. It's just information going into my ear, information going into my head, and I get it. Like I'm processing it, I'm understanding the things they're saying, but I'm not necessarily following it in the moment, if that makes any sense. So this is probably a better way to do that, because all I'm doing when I listen to this podcast is literally just doing it for the information from in a different format, like an audio format, to take it in as opposed to reading it. That's the value that I get out of it. So I don't need to like the people or whatever. I just need to hear the audio coming through, and the character that they put on it is, I mean, it's just character. If I strip away that and just listen to the information, that's what's important, and that's what I'm getting at 2 times speed. So there we go. I just learned that 2 times speed is what I need. Let's just hear how awful it sounds at half speed.
Analyze these.
God, I don't even want to, but I'm going to do it.
Very dense legal documents.
Wow.
And instead of just saying, hey, summarize this entire legal document for me, they're saying, okay, first, identify the key clauses.
That was awful. Get that back up to 2. Just let's watch
in this contract. Then go and research relevant case law that relates to those clauses.
Wow.
Then flag any potential issues or risks that we need to be aware of.
That's like having a super-powered research assistant.
Yeah.
Who you're guiding through the research process step by step.
It is like that, and it gets even more interesting because we can actually build teams of AI agents where each agent specializes in a particular task.
Got it.
And they can collaborate and work together to achieve even more impressive results.
I like that. I've done a turnaround here. You've witnessed a turnaround. I do like the audio, the podcast for the audio aspect. Put it in two time, double speed. That way I can get that information in and not care about the personality, because the personality is doesn't matter for this. So cool. All right. So, and then, yeah, I think it's cool. I'm going to play around with this. I'm going to add some stuff. The other thing about this, so the important part about this is in gathering all this, sure, I can use it for personal, but the point of it was I wanted to go ahead and be able to share this in the server. And I don't know. Do I have to have like specific people, or can I just copy a link? Let's see. Let's see. Um, so this is okay. The conversation's still loaded. Those questions aren't there, but what I think you can save notes. I don't know how to do that. Um, what's this? Oh, the NotebookLM Discord. Okay. Um, play around with that some other time. So yeah, so I got the link there. What was I going to try to do? Oh, I opened that up. I want to try to open it up as a different me. But no, that should work. All right. Uh, oh no, sign me back in as me, probably from my Discord. I don't know, but we'll see. I'll have to test that with somebody else. So hey, if you want to test to see if that works, jump on my Discord server. It's called AndreMauriceDavis.com. So if you're on Discord, go check it out. I don't even know how to. So I'm learning how to use Discord here. So let's see. Like, how do you search for servers? Add a server. Join a server. So you need an invite link. All right, discoverable communities. Is mine discoverable? Probably not. Featured search. Say Andre Maurice.com. No results found. All right, I gotta figure out how to get on this thing. If you know how, let me know. But otherwise, maybe I'll put the link in the YouTube description. That's what I'll do. All right, cool.